This is not a test. This is your emergency broadcast system announcing the commencement of another purge of the BS, sanctioned by the First Amendment. Frustration levels 0 to 100 have been authorized for use during this purge. All weapons are restricted. Government officials have not been granted immunity from the purge of the BS and shall undoubtedly receive the smoke. Commencing at the sound of the gong, any and all BS, especially unnecessary goofiness, will be purged without prejudice. Police, fire, and emergency medical services will be available, but they will be busy because they too will be watching the purge of the BS. Blessed be those who have already been victims of some BS. May God be with you all.
Here we go. Once again, another purge of the BS must begin. Thank you guys for bearing with us. We had to switch the stream up real quick. Because you know, sometimes I get ahead of myself, and I decided I wanted to try to broadcast to Twitch at the same time, since apparently my Twitch got monetized, and for some reason I didn't know that. So you guys, thank you for stopping by. Make sure you hit that like button when you come in so we can properly proceed with this purge. If you're new to the channel, I hope you heard the disclaimer. The smoke will be delivered today, okay? So if you're sensitive and ain't here for real conversation, I suggest you keep it moving. But for those of us who are here for the real, let's prepare to purge. Al Bond, I see you in the chat. Purple Groovy in the chat over there. I am Z in the chat. Everybody's trying to stop in. Who did I see? I saw a new face in the chat. Who was that? I saw it was Ralph somebody. Wasn't Ralph Tresvant, but y'all know what I'm talking about. I don't know. It'll come up on the next stream. So, anyways, as we do here, let me fade out the music so y'all can hear me talking. Hey Al, how's my sound? Give me that number 1 in the chat if the sound is all good. I'd appreciate it. Check is complete. Started. All right. Well, today is our Ghosts and Goblins episode. Ghosts and Goblins is the concept that has come because I have purged so much BS in the last year or so that I saving everybody ain't, that's not even in the cards. The best we can do is help people to understand why folks are crazy as they are. And maybe they can help themselves by staying away from the crazy folks. That's where the conversation is at this point. Because I thought we could save the world, guys. But if you look at some of the stuff out there, it's kind of like, I don't think so. I think we just need to be careful out here and navigate this thing correctly to do the best that we can for ourselves and our families. Not everybody's going to have common sense. Can't bring them all over. Okay? Can't save everybody, as they say. So I want to make sure that you guys are understanding that we might be witnessing something more than just bad behavior. There might be some inherent spirits, okay, that are kind of jumping around the world, inhabiting different people at different times, and in a way to try to keep the balance between good and bad. You know, they say without the evil, you can't see the good, that kind of thing. And like I said, a lot of it doesn't make sense to me. So I got to the point where I was like, you know what, I'm going to stop trying to understand the mentality and start understanding better how to see it and avoid the hell out of it. Okay? So that's what we're going to be sharing today. Now, I'm going to get started with one that's probably going to piss a few people. I'm going to just be honest. This one came to me recently yesterday. Now, here's the thing. I'm all about good behavior, treating people like they are respected as humans, right? But for some reason, this next clip, a gentleman, you know, I guess we're going to start with it today. A gentleman was in a neighborhood in Orlando and was basically like, I want to say accosted would kind of be the word. He was threatened at minimum by a resident there due to the fact that apparently the neighborhood was a no soliciting neighborhood. Now, from the story that I got, the guy wasn't soliciting, but whether he was or was not, focus is going to be on the response to the quote unquote solicitor. So shouts to Al Bond for helping me with finding this particular content. Interesting. So a second here, let me bring this on over. Make sure y'all hit the like button. Let's get this thing started. We're it up now. If you're just getting here, you're here at a good time. Show is about to start here. Okay? So check this out. Got over here. This is a WTF clip, guys. I guess we're starting right in there. And anybody that's new to the show or the channel, WTF here stands for, well, that's Florida. Okay? Not excusing Florida, but it helps with understanding. That's Florida. Like, they different. A lot of vitamin E from the sunlight. I don't know what it is, but it's just Florida. So check out this clip. This gentleman in the front is apparently in a neighborhood that has no soliciting signs up. That's kind of what started this.
That's right, record me.
Cool, take your black ass out of here.
Orlando, Florida, Hunters Creek specifically, if you're familiar with the area. This young black man is going door to door, and these people don't like solicitors. You might be someone who doesn't like a solicitor. Two things, though. One, it does not give you the right to make threats of violence against them because you don't like them. But more importantly, this guy isn't a solicitor. He's not selling. He's there as a project manager, the utility company that just made upgrades in the neighborhood, and he has to go door to door, letting people know these are the upgrades that happened. He's selling absolutely nothing when they do this to him.
Oh, he's recording us.
You.
That's right, record me.
Cool, take your black ass out of here.
You're soliciting the wrong person.
Take your black ass out of here. You up. Don't come cuss my door. You in your phone. Get your ass beat.
Off my property
Get
now.
out of here. Record that. Come back and get him. Hang your ass.
Now. Good. I hope you show your employers. Show your employers, because this is what your employees do.
You dumb It says no soliciting. Get your black ass the out of here. You come back and get him. I'll hang you.
Don't go over his house either.
He don't want nothing. It says no soliciting. Get your black ass out of here. You
want him at your house?
Now he called the police. Police came. Want to guess what the police said could be done about all this?
There's no crime committed,
Okay.
as in like the assault or the threats made.
No problem.
I understand what he said.
Okay.
Yeah, that guy seems singularly focused on his race as a driving theme for why he was so upset. He called him black ass multiple times. He used slurs, and on a couple occasions he talked about hanging him. And you cannot talk about hanging a black man without a certain intention, or at least that's how it sounds to everyone who will ever hear it. Now, that young man has set up a GoFundMe. You can find it very easily by putting Help AJ Provide for his 3-year-old. It would come up on GoFundMe. He's doing that because he's been scared to go back to work. This was traumatizing, and understandably so. In the meantime, though, these people, especially this.
All right, I'm going to pause it right there. This guy's got like skeletal tattoos on his hand over here, this gentleman. Now, I will say this. I'm not a big fan of solicitors, okay? Not a big fan. But it doesn't sound, like, at least from this report, that he was actually selling anything. And I would venture to say that the couple in the video didn't give him a moment to explain anything about why he was there. So, because he said, you got your black ass on my porch. Like, just the fact that he was physically present was the offense. And so this gentleman obviously doesn't like black people on his porch. I mean, but does that give him the right to come out there talking about he's going to hang somebody? I would say not. But unless he makes an aggressive move at the person, the police aren't going to really do much with that because he's just talking shit. Like, that's literally what he was talking shit. That's what the crime was. When they come and say, what happened? Man, this guy was over here talking shit. He didn't actually put his hands on him. He didn't swing on him. He didn't hurt him. He didn't physically do anything. But he did make some pretty brash statements. But I really don't think the police can do much with that, at least not in Florida. I mean, you're kind of free to say some craziness if people walk up on your porch. Even if they haven't done anything wrong. I'm not saying you got to threaten them with rifles or whatever, but this guy just doesn't generally like black people. So he couldn't believe it when he saw one on his porch. He lost his mind. He was like, what the hell? And there you go. So, but the funny part is, this is the funny part about it, is this is still America. Like, there's black people all over the place. Especially in Florida. As a matter of fact, there's black, brown, yellow, all types of colors in the Florida areas. So this group may want to get over that. Like, if not, don't leave your house. Not in Orlando. Because you're going to run into a few more. You're going to do this every time you run into somebody? No. You just acting like that because it's your property. So you feel like you have a right to be an asshole on your property. And to a degree, you do. But that doesn't mean we don't get to call you an asshole and treat you as such. But you can be that. That's all right. There's nothing wrong with being an asshole. But just keep in mind that people will treat you like the asshole because he's an asshole. So I like the clip. I'm glad they're highlighting that because you got to remember there's still some people around. And even though this guy was just trying to tell them about an electronic upgrade they were doing with the power systems in the area, he wasn't there to sell anything, or at least that's what the report says. He didn't have to deal with that. I don't know how he didn't say nothing back. Like, I'm going to be real. Like, we can, I can be respectful, but you ain't going to just be talking all out the side of your neck like this, sir. Like, we going to have a discussion about your rhetoric, your language, and your presentation. Your tone is incorrect. Talking to my guy all wrong. Wrong tone. So, feeling for that guy, because, I hear him saying he's traumatized by it, which, you could be, but the guy didn't come. I mean, the GoFundMe thing is, you could just find another job. Like, if you were good at that job, you could probably just find another. You don't need a GoFundMe going on right now. And if you don't want to go back to work, and your employer seeing this video wants to send you to the same neighborhood, that's a whole different story. But I will say this. You don't need a GoFundMe because somebody yelled at you on. That's all I'm saying. But whatever. I'm not that guy. I'm just saying, me personally, we would have had a whole different discussion in there. Whole different discussion. So I'm through with these guys. Let's see what we got here. All right, what's next? Purple Groovy. Thank you for your comment in the chat. I am Z. I see you in the chat. Al Bond, you already know. You already know he got a different type of dude. Because even myself, it wouldn't have been a one-sided conversation. Not for that long. Not for that long. No, sir. No, sir. He would have definitely remembered interacting with me that day. All I'm going to say. So nonetheless, if you're new to the spot, hit the like button. Want to see the vertical versus the wide body stream? We're doing the dual stream thing, so you can pick your stream. Chat unifies on the screen. So you'll chat with whom. Thank you guys for coming. Our next, Ghosts and Goblins. So I don't know if that guy was possessed by the spirit of an old racist. I don't know. There's a lot of black people in Orlando. You're going to have a tough time navigating that city without running into a few of them. I'll just say that. Tough time. So this next one is, I'm not going to call it diabolical, but when I heard the headline, I said, what are we talking about? Initially, the headline was regarding a ride by. So I said, what's a ride by? Well, apparently a gentleman in Miami, so we're still in Florida here, okay, got into it with another gentleman over an affair with his wife, and apparently he was in a wheelchair or an automatic scooter, whatever you want to call it, but apparently he was in one of those. So we are going to get into this. I don't even have to change anything about the topic text. I could just change Florida. Let's go that. Florida. I was going to change it to, check this. My thing worked.
What led to a fatal shooting at the Village Flea Market in Northwest Miami-Dade. The Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office says an alleged affair led a man to shoot and kill his wife's lover. According to the man charged with the murder, the romantic relationship had been going on for 6 years. CBS News Miami's Nakaya Carrero is in West Miami-Dade with how this man carried out the crime.
Hold on. I'm going to pause right there. If your wife's cheating on you for 6 years, your issue ain't the person she's cheating with. I'm just going to put it out there early in. Before we get into whatever the hell else happens in this story, if you have a 6-year affair, then you the problem. You see what I'm saying? I don't know about the person that had the affair with her. He's bad to a degree, but the wife is the problem. So I think whatever anger should have been directed in the right place. But let's just see what happens. What happens here?
According to Detective, 69-year-old Omar Aguila was told his wife's lover was in the parking lot of the Village Flea Market. That's when he got on a mobility scooter, went outside to the parking lot where the victim was in a car, went up to the car and shot him multiple times. According to Miami-Dade Sheriff deputies, back on July 12th, Aguila was inside the Village Flea Market with his son and wife. His son spotted the victim in the parking lot and told him. According to his arrest form, he got on a mobility scooter, drove up to the victim's car, got off the scooter and walked up to the car. That's when deputies say Aguila argued with the victim for no more than 5 seconds, fired multiple shots at the victim, killing him. The affair that caused the disagreement started back in 2019, according to deputies. He claims he shot the victim in self-defense.
All right, I'm going to pause it again. Your wife has an affair for 6 years. You happen to be at the flea market on a Saturday. Someone alerts you that the person to whom she's having the affair with is there. Is he there with the wife at that time? Because I still feel like the anger is misdirected. Because at this point, the person that's in the car, that's the affair person, is not even there with the wife. They're just in the area. But the problem is the wife. I'm not totally absolving the other person. What I'm saying is the anger that should first be dealt with is that with the wife, not the dude. And it's the same in reverse. Like if a dude is cheating on his wife, the anger needs to be directed at the dude before the side chick. You see what I'm saying? I mean, you could still end it up there, but you got to start with the source. They took the vows. Anyway.
According to the police report, Mr. Aguila told the police that the alleged victim was reaching down. He thought he was going to be shot.
There's no evidence here to corroborate what the defendant is alleging to happen. In fact, evidence to the contrary indicates that his search did not reveal a firearm.
Through the investigation, detectives discovered the victim was not there to see the woman. He was in fact there to deliver food to a friend who works inside the Village Flea Market. Now Aguila is being held here at TGK on a second-degree murder charge with no bond. In West Miami-Dade, Nakaya Carrero, CBS News, Miami.
All right, well, let's unpack it here. Let's just unpack this real quick. Okay, so first and foremost, I've already talked about the misdirected angle. Let's talk about the fact that the person who was there wasn't even there to see the wife in the first place. Just somebody said he was around. This dude jumps on a mobility scooter. He's an older guy. He's like 70. He really was going to throw away the last part of his life in prison over some lady that cheated on him for 6 years? What? See, this is what I'm saying. This is the thought process that some people have. I don't get none of it. I'll be damned if I'm going to throw away the last, he might only have about 10 years. Tops, this guy's like 70. Can't even move that fast. Had to jump on the mobility scooter to go take care of the crime. And you're going to throw away your last couple of good years? Obviously, he could stand and walk. He was standing in the clip. But he can't get there that fast. He said, no, I'm taking the mobility scooter and I'm going to pull a ride by. And that's what he did. And the person was there just delivering food, doing DoorDash. So let that be a lesson to everyone involved. Okay? If you look, people get upset when you mess with theirs. So if you're messing with somebody's husband or wife, gonna have that people are not going to be happy with that. That's one thing. Secondarily, if that is your husband or wife, make sure that you address the anger in the direction in which it should be initially addressed. Then if things don't stop, you take it to that second level and you start doing all that other stuff. But I think he might get a temporary insanity thing, because why else would you do that but insanity? See what I'm saying? So, yeah, he did a whole drive-by on a hover round at the flea market on a Saturday. And now he's going to spend the rest of his time in jail. And guess what? That definitely didn't work out well for him. So, gentlemen, if you marry somebody 6 days or 6 years or whatever, and they got somebody on the side, make sure that you deal with that thing appropriately and don't go crashing out in a hover round in a parking lot in Miami. What a waste. Like, you're going to waste the last good couple years you got over some chick that was cheating on you for 6 years. A waste of your time, money, effort, and everything, man. Ridiculous. Anyway, I'm through with this guy. You know, it's disappointing. Disappointing. But anyway, thank you guys for joining in here. My man Chief stopped in as well. Of course, Purple Groovy's in the chat. We got IMZ in the chat. Carpe Diem in the chat. Y'all got it. Y'all got it. We getting it together today. This is a good day. On vacation this week. Kind of been chilling. But it's like, because I take a vacation, the world don't. I can't get the world to chill. I need them to chill out. All of this is happening within real time. These aren't old stories. Like, these are actually real time. This is what's going on at the flea market this week. You know what I'm saying? Ridiculous. All right, what do we got next? Because I don't even know. I don't even know what's next now. Now things are about to get crazy. All right, we went to violence. So, oh, okay. So we said we're not safe at the flea market. You're not safe at home or at people's homes if you're doing door-to-door interactions. And on the flip side, you're not safe at your house because you might end up with a black person on the porch. And apparently to some people, that's not a safe environment. I don't know what that's about. But I'll be honest, I don't want random people, black or white, that I don't know on my porch at any point in time. That's why I don't like solicitors. I don't know why you here. I don't know if you're casing the joint. If you know, I don't want you there. If I don't know you're coming, I'm going to be upset when you get here. That goes for family too. Don't be popping up on me in any regard. But anyway, moving to our next piece. What else we got? So we got a stand your ground issue. Oh, Lord. Okay, I'm going to tell you right now, this is not for the sensitive ones. Apparently, 2 brothers got unalived by a guy, and he's claiming self-defense, and people are saying it's not self-defense. So, I'm going to go into this story, but I just got a feeling this one's going to get a little funky. See? All right. So there's 2 clips here. I got to see which one is which. Bear with me. Oh, so one is the video itself, and the other is... I don't know which one.
Is there appropriate under the law?
Okay. Yeah, we got to do both of them. One second. Okay, so we'll start with this one. Okay. Sorry, guys. I had to figure out which one of these clips went first because there's 2 of them, and gotta make sense. But apparently 2 brothers were unalived, like in a store, and the guy who did it claimed self-defense. And there's a lot of upheaval regarding whether or not this would be. So I'm going to let y'all see what it's about, discuss it, and we're going to purge the bullshit. Let's see what it is.
New details about a double homicide over the weekend. Prosecutors say 2 brothers, Taylor and Byron Garrett, were both shot dead, but the prosecutor's office is only filing charges for one of their deaths. KCTV5's Ryan Hennessy joins us live near the gas station where this happened, near Truman and Brooklyn Avenue. Ryan?
Yeah, so right behind me on Sunday afternoon is when Emmanuel Hernandez pulled up at one of the gas pumps. According to a probable cause statement, which we just received today, it shows that one of the Garrett brothers ended up getting into a fight with Hernandez and hitting him outside this gas station.
This was a scene shortly after the shooting. Friends and family of Taylor and Byron Garrett waiting hours for answers. Investigators say surveillance video from inside the store showed the tension continued into the gas station line. We've requested a copy of that surveillance video, but it likely will not be released by the prosecutor since this is an open investigation. In that video, police say the same Garrett brother allegedly struck Hernandez in the face again. That's when police say Hernandez pulled out a gun and opened fire. Both brothers ran, but according to a transcript of the surveillance video, Hernandez fired several more shots at them, followed them, and shot them while they were on the ground. Afterwards, he then hit one of the brothers in the face with his gun.
That doesn't sound like self-defense at all so far, but okay, all right, let's see what we got.
The court documents, Hernandez told police both brothers hit him. The transcript of that surveillance video showed that police believe only one of the 2 men ever struck him. Jackson County Prosecutor Melissa Johnson announced charges of involuntary manslaughter and armed criminal action against Hernandez. Quote, the charges stem from the death of one of the victims who, according to available surveillance footage, Mr. Hernandez shot at multiple times, even after this victim attempted to retreat. After the shooting, Mr. Hernandez is seen on the video striking this victim in the head with the firearm.
Stand your ground case?
Prosecutor Johnson says Missouri's self-defense laws is the reason why she hasn't brought charges in that second murder, citing specifically Missouri's stand your ground law, which has a policy that says defendants do not have the duty to retreat before using deadly force just because they feel threatened.
All right, defendants do not have a duty to retreat for using deadly force. Basically, what they're saying is if you feel that somebody has wronged you or touched you, you don't have to try to run away to claim self-defense. Like, you don't have to try to escape. So apparently in Kansas City, stand your ground law is pretty much what they would consider to be on site. We're dealing with this immediately. But what I did hear was that somebody followed somebody into a gas station. That's where my radar went up, that there might be some BS in this whole self-defense claim that this person is making. So we got the other clip. Let's go to the other clip, because this is what they're talking about. And then we'll unpack whether or not we see it as self-defense, okay? But we're going to unpack the bullshit on all sides, wherever we see it. That's how the purge of the BS is. We're going to talk about it on all.
To shoot someone who takes a swing at you.
Tonight, only on Fox 4, new video shows what led up to the shots being fired in a Kansas City convenience store, leaving 2 men dead. The men who died were brothers. The suspected shooter had his bond reduced and is out of jail tonight. I'm John Holt.
I'm Bria Love. The attorney for the brothers says he thinks the video you'll see tonight supports murder charges rather than voluntary manslaughter. Fox 4's Dave DeMarco talked with the family. Dave, they say there's one eyewitness who police haven't talked to.
And that is one of those men's 7-year-old daughter who was in the car when this allegedly began with road rage.
A smack across the face, a gun pulled, and then the man who took that swing and his brother running away down an aisle of the store. This 70-second video provided to Fox 4 by the attorney for the family of the 2 brothers who were killed, Taylor and Byron Garrett, is just one of at least 2 cameras the Jackson County Prosecutor's Office reviewed before deciding on charges for the suspected shooter.
Guy looks a little crazy. He would probably be better off going with temporary insanity. I'm going to go with that one. Because he obviously went into the gas station after whatever happened outside. So at that point, you are not defending yourself. You become the aggressor. He went in there knowing he had something on him called a weapon. And he was coming straight out the Wish a Nigga Woods. If you don't know what that is, that's when you're in this, I wish it, you know. And so you're just ready. Whatever happens, you want somebody, you wish somebody would test you right now. So he was coming out of the Wish a Nigga Woods, and he went into the store and had another interaction with the guy. The guy smacked him, and then he starts firing. I don't know where the hell they got self-defense out of this from. Much, much better chance at temporary insanity, because road rage is you be wilding out. So you could say I was insane from the road rage, and that's what happened. Not I was defending myself. That doesn't make any damn sense. Lawyers be just trying stuff sometimes. Like, come on, man. We're not lawyers, but come on now. Like, come on now. Like, seriously. In the words of Grady Judd.
Now, first off, come on, man.
Okay? Let's hear the rest of the story, but it already, I smell bullshit already.
Shooter, Emmanuel Hernandez. According to court documents, Taylor Garrett also hit Hernandez outside the convenience store at Truman and Brooklyn July 20th, and though Hernandez later followed the brothers in, he wasn't charged in Taylor's death because prosecutors said Taylor was the aggressor. But Howard Lotvin says they are missing a key part of the story.
It actually started before then when Mr. Hernandez was driving the wrong way down a one-way street. The Garretts flagged him down to tell him he was going the wrong way, and he started an argument with them and then followed them to the station.
And Lotvin says family have told...
First of all, this is the lawyer talking, but if the police had this same information, who in the world is saying that there was a self-defense claim or a stand your ground claim? The guy was going the wrong way up a one-way street. The gentleman told him, probably not in the nicest words, that he was going the wrong way. That sparked some type of an argument. They went to the gas station. He was at the gas station. Somebody smacked him outside the gas station, probably for following him to the gas station and keeping this thing going. Then they go into the gas station. He follows them into the gas station, armed and ready, gets smacked a second time, and then starts firing off shots. I don't know who told who about self-defense, but this sounds like he was mad because he got smacked, and he went in the gas station and was like, if you touch me, I'm okay. And these guys smacked him again because they had just smacked you in the parking lot. So at that point, they think smacking you is fine because you took the smack in the parking lot. You're supposed to be fighting, sir. You're not supposed to take the smack, walk back to the car, all that. These dudes casually walked up into the gas station like, what's he going to do? We just smacked him in the parking lot. He didn't do nothing. And so he went and got a pistol. He went into the gas station, basically dared them to say or do anything else, knowing he had a weapon on him. The second they did it, then, of course, there it is. So, yeah, Missouri, y'all not going to be able to hold that stand your ground law like this. You can't let this kind of stuff just happen. You know what I'm saying? And that's funny. Carpe Diem said it's what they do. And it's interesting because the face on this is not the face of the normal criminal that they like to show us that can't take a smack and deal with it, you know, or fight it out at that point. Because obviously these guys weren't armed. And that's what they said in the other thing, that they didn't, I don't think they found any weapons on these gentlemen. So they were, I'm not going to call them innocent because they did smack the crap out of them. But hell, Will Smith smacked the crap out of Chris Rock, and Chris Rock didn't start shooting. And he did that on national TV. So obviously, getting smacked in the face, not something that you need to use deadly force as a response. But let's see what we got. Let's let the lawyer keep talking. Make sure y'all hit that like button.
Kansas City Police, there's a witness to that road rage, but they won't interview her. Byron Garrett's 7-year-old daughter, who was in the car.
And his daughter was in the car?
The exclusive video obtained by Fox 4 shows Hernandez walk in the store, and exactly 30 seconds later, Taylor takes that swing, and Hernandez pulls the gun from his waistband.
We don't know what was said because both of the Garretts are dead and there's no audio. But he clearly continued this road rage situation inside the store.
Fox 4 isn't showing the graphic video of what happens next as he runs after them with gun drawn, but it's what happens after that when prosecutors say both men fall, appearing to be struck by the gunfire, that Lotvin finds disturbing.
Mr. Hernandez stood over them at that point and kept shooting, took 3 to 4 steps back, then went back toward them and pistol whipped them.
Both men who died were unarmed. Hernandez was charged with voluntary manslaughter and armed criminal action for shooting and pistol whipping the brother, who video never shows throwing a punch. Lotvin says the $5,000 bail Hernandez had to put up.
Hold up, $5,000 bail for that? Wait a minute. $5,000 bail for that? So he's on the street right now. This guy's on the street. You better hope that you don't get into an argument with him when he's going one way down the wrong way of a one-way street, because apparently he can take out 2 people in a convenience store, continue to shoot them once they're on the ground, pistol whip them once they're already deceased, and can get out on a $5,000 bail. That is absolutely diabolical.
Seems low for what he sees as a case that could be prosecuted
seems low.
with up to 2 murder charges.
There has to be a point in the law where you lose your right to self-defense if the harm or threatened harm or perceived harm has stopped.
And you heard him mention self-defense there, as the prosecutor had previously cited that as the reason she was only filing charges in the one death. She didn't respond to our questions today. I asked whether this did start with road rage and about that 7-year-old witness who apparently wants to tell her story. Police said the probable cause statement contains all the information that is publicly available at this time.
Dave DeMarco in studio.
All right, so basically the prosecutor, the district attorney, is the one that's only charging them for one thing. Meaning that they only, at this point, think that they have probable cause for one charge. Which is, I don't know, $5,000 is really low for committing like a crime where somebody loses their life in the middle of a store with their 7-year-old kid outside of the car. Like, $5,000. I know people that get a $5,000 bail for like driving on a suspended license. Nobody getting hurt, just got pulled over and gets locked up for driving on an expired or suspended license or something like that, and get way more to get to $10,000. Guy got $5,000 for basically taking out some people. So there is a interesting piece to this, because he knew what he was getting ready to do. He knew what he was getting ready to do. He had no fear of going to that car, grabbing what he had to grab, and then coming in that store with the 2 of them there. He had no fear of the consequences. He had no fear of whether or not those guys were going to do something. He didn't care if the convenience store person might have had a weapon. He had no fear on that. So at best, he was temporarily insane. But he definitely was not defending himself. So we can stop that. But the reason why there's been some talk about it, right, is because the persons who were unalived were of the melanin faith. The quote-unquote aggressor here that we see in this picture, obviously not of the melanin faith. And he might have something going on. He got some pretty curly hair going on. But they're trying to say that the district attorney is devaluing the lives of the young men who were taken. And it's because of their melanin stuff. So I'm not going to take that route at all. I'm just going to say $5,000 bail for unaliving somebody in a convenience store is BS. Doesn't matter what color they are. Taking things into your hands in that regard. Somebody smacked the crap out of you, you're going to have to fight. You got the guff right there. The second that the smack hits you, it's guff time. There's no time to go back to nothing. We must guff here. And if you lose, you lose. But I don't think those guys' goal was to take this man's life. Like, that's where I believe self-defense comes in, if somebody's trying to harm you. He obviously followed them, obviously walked up to them, said something. They smacked the shit out of him. Then he got upset, walked into the store a few seconds later, said, "What's up now?" or one of them kind of words. Who's the bitch now? One of them little phrases trying to sound cool. And then the second the guy said, "I'll smack you again. Smack me again." One of them little goofy interchanges so that he could try to justify doing what he did. He's totally under. Guy's a jerk. So, going to try to play the legal system, and he already is, in my opinion. $5,000 bail, that says nothing to the families of the people that were unalived, or that little girl that had to see her father get taken out. $5,000. That's some bull. I don't know, man. I don't know. Just saying. Not for me to be the prosecutor, but I think this is an easy M1. When you go in there with the lethal weapon, that's your, what do they call it? Premeditation? That's your premeditation right there. You went back to the car, grabbed the gun that was loaded, and went in somewhere looking for the people. That's your premeditation. That's M1 all day. So the only way out of M1 is temporary insanity. Okay? So this makes the 2A community look. Oh. Nonetheless, let me get to the next one. I'm done with this guy. Hey, Carpe Diem, I want to give a special shout to that chat, though. Need a gun to be a man, then you're not a man. I said it. You smack me, the fight starts then. That's the ring bell for the fight. The moment that happens, the fight's happened. I don't have time to say, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna go over here." No, man, no. You're a little punk for that. That dude's a punk. He had to go get his little weapon and all that. Now, you a chump. You want to fight it out, you should have fought it out, man. Now, people that lost people, I hope he gets every day of a 25 to life sentence over that. That's a double homie that he did. In witness of a child who's going to be traumatized by that for the rest of her life. $5,000 bail? Yeah, okay. Not satisfied at all. Not satisfied at all.
Unacceptable!
So we are going to go to our next situation here. Oh, we're gonna go right into the kids now. What do we have now? Oh, this story. So this is the Ghosts and Goblins episode. So some of the most nefarious thought processes are being purged today. Okay? Next story apparently is about a pastor who was trying to link up with some kids through an app, underage kids, for sexual stuff. The pastor. Hold on. Get the inflation. Get it. I'm just making sure y'all ready, okay? He was allegedly messaging some 14, 15-year-old kids, boys. All right, you know what? Let's just pause for a second. Y'all hit the like button, share the live, because I put myself through a lot to go over these situations with you, so that you're paying attention, that you can see that these demons are just floating around, going from person to person, seeing who they can infect for however long. And that's why these stories come out and we listen to them like, well, what would make you do that? Because there is some real serious demons. They're not even human. Floating around, doing diabolical stuff, destroying people's lives, destroying homes, just diabolical, man. So anyway, let's get to this. Do it. All right, so let's do it. Reverend Roger Hankey with St. John's Episcopal Church was seen emerging from his home with his husband after being confronted. San Diego pastor and professor admitted to using the gay dating app before smacking away the camera. Okay, so let's see what the who we got. Face on.
How's it going, Roger? Good. You want to talk to me privately, or do you want your boyfriend to find out, or your husband?
What?
I mean, do you want to talk to me privately outside? You better talk to me. I mean, like I said, I don't want him to hear. Otherwise, we can tell him if you want. It's a picture of you.
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to go walk and talk? We just want to keep it private.
What do you want to do?
I mean, I want to talk to you about the conversations you were having with the people that were talking to you on Grindr.
It's okay.
It's okay?
Yes.
Do you want me to tell him, or you want me to call the cops? What would your church think? Do you want to just have a conversation, man? I just want to get your side of the story.
Sure. Let's have a conversation.
You want to go walk?
We can just do it right here.
So I'm filming, obviously, because I don't know you, and I just want you to keep your hands to yourself, because obviously, I don't know you. But
shouts to People versus Preds channel. That's what they do. You know, it's the catch a predator type of stuff. Shouts to them for handling this, because I would be punching people in the face if I find out they dealing with the baby show. I just don't do that.
Church? Why are you out for a couple weeks?
I'm having surgery.
Having surgery? Okay. Well, I mean, he's right there. So you mean we can either like have this with him or by yourself, or
we can just do it right here.
Okay.
Let's just talk.
So, are you familiar with like what I'm referencing?
Never. Well, I know Grindr.
Okay. Like
Grindr.
How many
That's the app.
Are you talking to on Grindr?
I don't know.
Or how many have reached out to you? How many have talked to you? Or what?
I assume they're all of age.
I have evidence otherwise, Roger. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't be here.
Okay. I don't know their ages.
Okay.
When I talk to someone on Grindr, I assume.
You assume until someone tells you otherwise, or
I ask them.
What if someone tells you otherwise?
Then I cancel conversations.
Always?
I try to. Yes.
Try to? What prevents you from being able to? Because, like I said, man, I wouldn't be here, obviously, if I didn't have the information and evidence of showing otherwise. So, it's just best if you're honest, man.
I'm trying.
Trying? How many underage boys? How many underage boys' evidence am I going to have in my pocket to talk to you about?
I don't know because I don't know who's underage.
Because Roger.
So they say they're 18.
Roger, look.
All right, so do some early unpacking here. So we got a pastor who has a husband at home who is hooking up with what he says are supposed to be of age males and chatting them up and trying to get them to hook up with maybe him and his husband. I don't know. It all sounds sick to me. Just being honest. The whole thing sounds sick to me. You married, whether you're married to a woman or a man, we're not even going to have that discussion. But you're married to a person and you're apping it up with possibly underage people. See, he's saying I'm under the impression that everyone is of age. Meaning he's looking for people who are pretty young anyway, but just over the cusp. You know? He's talking about he thinks they're 18 versus 17, 16, 15. And apparently 14 according to this damn clip. So let's just, and they're saying in the clip, Christians must call out this despicable behavior. Let me read that for you one more time. I don't know if you can see that as the last line that they put before the video. Christians must call out this despicable behavior. Let me say something. Christians ain't the only ones that can call out the bullshit on this. It's not just on the Christians, folks. This is bullshit all around. It's not religious bullshit. It's bullshit all around. You are a married person messing with underage people on an app. Doesn't matter the sex. Doesn't matter the religion. What matters is that you want some bullshit, and it needs to be purged. So I don't like the fact that they specifically said Christians are the only ones that can be offended by this. Christians are the only ones that might not want children to be diddled. Is that true? I doubt that, but apparently that's what these people think to say. Like I said, it's purge the BS, so we get it all. It's all around. Not just as simple as let's be mad at this guy. No. Let's see what it is. You're trying to incite Christians. Okay, why? Do you think nobody else other than Christians has an issue with children being diddled? But let me just say this. If you have an openly gay pastor at your church, that's probably not the normalized Christian church anyway. Okay? So let's just be honest. This ain't about Christians. This is about people with alternative lifestyles messing with young kids, or people with married lifestyles messing with kids. You hear what the concept comes back to? Messing with the kids. Stop messing with the damn kids. I don't care who you sleep with. I don't. I don't care who you worship. But what you're not going to do is be messing with the damn kids. Because if I was, see, these folks that do these shows, they're nice. When they walk up to them, they want to talk to them and all that. There was this other group that I saw, they were punching people. They didn't last that long. They got canceled. But they would go meet them in like a CVS, and the person would think they were about to meet some 12, 13-year-old kid in the CVS in the condom aisle, right? And these dudes would be there waiting for them, and they was pummeling folks. I like that approach better, but I understand why we cannot condone the violence, because they are still committing a crime by beating up this person. So, but I will say, you see what I'm saying? I will say that I appreciate them delivering the blow and taking that for the team, because they did get in trouble for that. But you know what? That's how I feel. If there's no consequences to this person's action other than, you know, what, being exposed for what, being a gay pastor, and they already know he's a gay pastor and has a husband. I'm sure his church already knows that. That's not a secret. So you're not exposing anything with that. But if he's messing with the kids, then you should let his church deal with him. Like, that's really what you should do. Let him get ousted by the church and all that kind of stuff, because we can't touch him. Second I go punch him in the face, I'm going to go to jail, and he'll still be out trying to diddle the damn kids. So I appreciate people versus pedos for their situation and trying to do this, but I wish that y'all could do more when you confront them. That's all I'm going to say.
If somebody came to me with that exact same question,
Are you recording?
don't touch
Don't.
it. I just said you keep your hands to yourself.
Don't.
Uh-oh.
Don't record.
Okay. Well, I'll just, like I said, do you want me to call the cops, or do you want me to go to I'll just go to the church. That's cool. I'll just go to SDSU and talk to them about the 14 and 15-year-old boy. It's up to you, man. I'm not here soliciting.
I don't know anything about a person.
Why do I have pictures and conversations of such?
I don't know their ages.
You don't know their ages? Okay. Let me show you otherwise. Is your daddy calling you in? Because, like I said, I can just call the cops here if you want, or we can just have a simple fucking conversation.
Quick, man. Just want to talk.
Do you want to have a conversation about this, or do you just want me to call the cops? I'm recording because you just did exactly what I told you not to do. I'm recording because I can record you, and I'm recording because you're a fucking pedophile. So, okay, I'll just go to the church, Roger. It's cool. Hey, I'll see you in 2 weeks at the church, and I'll be handing out the fucking exact chat logs of all of the fucking kids you were talking to at church. You dumb piece of shit. How's it going, Roger?
Okay, so Roger was trying to diddle the boy. Let's see what else we got. Oh, it's funny. People immediately started talking about why would Christians need to call out the behavior. Church has issues of its own with the pastor. Okay. So people had an issue with the guy anyway. So he definitely didn't help his case by getting caught up on an app. Like, first of all, you're the pastor, okay? But at the end of the day, you're trying to mess with the kids. So he needs to not be a pastor. Let's start with that. But you know what happens here, right? Talking shit doesn't get you locked up. It gets you exposed. It gets you, people know who you are now. But he's not going to go to jail for chats on what should be an app for people over age. I've never been on Grindr, so I don't know. I don't know if it's known for this, but most of the dating apps, or the ones that I've ever seen, like Tinder and all that kind of stuff, they were always, you're supposed to be of age. So if a person gets on there and they're not of age, or they utilize entrapment, which could be a thing where they act like they're a person that's a certain age, and then send a text and say, hey, I'm only 15. And then the other person says, oh, I don't mind. Now you got them. So they could be doing that. But at the end of the day, this guy's not living right. He's already just not living right. So you're going to have to let the good Lord sort him out. Just keep him away from your damn kids. There's nothing you're going to be able to do other than that with what's been presented. He didn't get caught in the house with a child in the house. They don't have any videos of him doing anything with a child. They got a couple of chats. He's saying he thought they were of age. Maybe not. But what is the charge for saying that you would do something with someone under it? I don't know. It'll be attempted solicitation. Attempted solicitation. I guess your bail will be less than $5,000 since you can get an M1 and get $5,000 bail. So you're not going to be able to stop him that way. What I would say is if you don't like this guy's behavior, don't support his church. His church is his business. That's how he makes his money. So don't support his church. That's all you can do on this one. Sorry. I hate to tell you, it's really not much we're going to do. We doxed him a little bit. You got his house, you got his husband, and I'm sure people poke at him all the time. No pun intended, but they poke at them all the time anyway. So it's sad that when you do find these folks, you can't really do much about it unless they've actually committed the act. And once they've committed the act, they've already destroyed that child's mind and the future for that child. So it's like you got to wait till it's too late to get them for doing what it is that they've been planning on doing the whole time. Call yourself. Okay. All right. I don't want to hear nothing about no pastoring when they be some of the dirtiest ones. Now, granted, there's some out there that really do live what they talk. They walk it like they talk it. But half of them ain't that. Half of them just trying to get a check, and they use those platforms to have sex with the congregation and all that kind of. That's why people don't want to go to church. Because there's these people that we put at these high positions that are the dirtiest ones in the building. So why would I want to go into a building where I know it's dirty like that? God exists everywhere. Why would I want to be part of your little situation where your pastor done had 3 illegitimate children and the deacon has a whole nother situation going on with another deacon, male deacon? I don't want all that. There's too many spirits floating around for me to be able to be in full worship there. So that's why a lot of people don't go. That's the honest truth. Honest truth. Don't be mad at people for not going to church when this is who you putting in leadership position. And you wonder why people are disconnecting from the church. Whatever, man. All right, let's get to the next one. All right, what's next? What is next? Oh, wow. Okay. We only got like 2 more. This one, it's funny. Let me tell y'all something about how these episodes get put together. I myself don't use a lot of AI. So I communicate with AI like on a creative level, and I'll have it scrape the internet for things that have a similar concept. And because AI is sort of elementary these days, I can do a story about a pedo, which has something to do with children, right? Then the AI will scrape and find another story that has to do with children, but doesn't have to do with the pedo. So the topics they're intertwined but totally disconnected. But this next one is going viral because of the behavior of some children. So we're going to get into it. This is one of the bad parents. This is the bad parenting one. Every time we got to highlight the bad parent, because I don't believe that kids are inherently bad. I believe that 99% of kids are fine at first, and they start getting exposed to certain things, or you let certain things go. By the time they get older, they become these toxic ass people that we talk about on Purge the Bullshit. That's literally what happens. So we have to stop it early. You got to get them while they're in the eggs. So I'm going to show y'all the original clip. Bunch of kids. A bunch of kids get caught stealing. And instead of like caring that they got caught, they basically cuss out the person that's catching them stealing. It's actually pretty interesting. The entitlement level. So I'm going to let y'all hear the story. Right? And make sure you hit the like button, share the live, tell us where you're coming from in the chat. Let's do it. Carpe diem, thank you again for your comment there. The thing about the verified information is very important to me, because if you're not putting out real shit, you're putting out bullshit. So if you don't have good information and it's true information, then you're just basically spitting bullshit. So why are you even doing that? Shut up. Go get some real information. So that's why I make sure that it's real over here. It's not going to follow everybody else's trend, because a lot of people do get paid, say certain things or cover certain topics. I'm not looking for those topics. I'm looking for the problem in society, which is bad thinking patterns. And some of them are from parents. Some of them are from kids. Some of them are from pedos. Some of them are from police officers. It's all over the place. Some of them are district attorneys. Some of them are presidents. Bad thinking patterns exist all over the place. That's the ghosts and the goblins. So let me let y'all see these kids who apparently got caught stealing at Dallas Walgreens. I want you to hear their response.
You got like 10 seconds to open up this door. I swear to God, I'm gonna break this door. 10. Open this fucking door. Oh, come on, mama. Come on, mama. Bitch, I been knew how to count, ho. Show 4 out of there.
All right, first of all, is that a boy or a girl? Is this a boy or girl? I don't know if this is a boy or girl. Let me bring it down so y'all can see. I'm not sure if this is a boy. Definitely got some sassiness. That's not a girl. One in the middle is obviously a girl. One in the front is obviously a boy. This one in the green, I'm not sure. But anyway,
10.
Let's go.
Open this fucking door. Oh, come on, mama. Come on, mama. Bitch, I been knew how to count, ho. Show 4 out of there. Dad do that. You can open the door. I'm gonna open up this door because I'm not playing. All I fucking know is y'all better open it. I'm not playing.
You know how to count. You have hands. Open the door.
Open up this door before we break this bitch.
Break it. Go ahead.
I'm gonna break some up in this bitch. I'm God. I'm gonna. You guys must be dumb. I would like that for a with y'all. Do not play with it.
You
Do
can
not
like that, but you can't open the door.
Do not play with it. Open this door, I'll trash it.
You can open it.
I will trash this off.
I'm closed. All right, we're sorry.
So open this. Open it.
Okay.
You got like
All right.
10 seconds
Hold
to
on.
open up this door.
Okay, hold on. Before y'all get crazy, where is their parents? Before we deal with the behavior of the children, which is obviously disrespectful, why are they there in a Walgreens at night stealing in bedclothes, robes, pajamas, and what look like jail slides? Anybody that knows about the jail slides, these slides right here in the middle, those are the jail slides. So somebody in the house is either been to or is currently in jail. And these slides somehow made their way back to the house. So my first question is just where are their parents? It's obvious that there's something wrong, that these children are in this place right now, stealing with no parents around in bedclothes, probably because they'll be putting themselves to bed that night because their parents ain't nowhere to be found. Real. But apparently, after the internet outlash or outcry for these children and where their parents are, these same kids, and it looks like the same night, the same night, get on a live with their sister, who probably is their primary care parent at this point, and they decide to continue, basically double down on the stupid behavior. So check this out.
I'm saying, can people stop saying they mama poor, they can't afford food, our mama can't afford food.
And second of all,
we fully dressed, we got
get
more
more
money
money
than you, bitch.
Second of all, y'all dicking. Get off dick.
Y'all niggas about my sister. This is not my mama, this is my sister. She make more money than you. She got her own house. She pay her own bills. She got more shit than you. You broke. You ain't getting no more shit. And that was not food inside that bag. That was snacks and toys.
And if it was, yeah, that's what y'all like the fuck.
Matter of fact, everybody steal. Matter of fact,
y'all got food. Everybody that knows y'all got food.
Y'all grown people.
But yeah, like at the end of the day, my mama did not know that they dropped off. But yeah, and everybody in the comments talking about they mama this, they mama that. Bitch, my mama did not know they was stealing. Bitch, that was not with my.
Please, can stop.
Okay. I'm gonna let y'all just take that in. They doubled down. They got their older sibling taking care of them. She's talking about her mother didn't know that they was out stealing. Where is your mama now? That is the problem. Or your dad or whoever the hell. Where is anybody to make sure that this is not going to continue? The sister obviously didn't care. And it was a difference between them getting food and snacks and candy. So they weren't stealing food according to them because they got money. They paid. They got plenty of money. They were stealing snacks and candy. Okay. All right. All right. I'll let y'all just take that in, man. This is a parenting problem. It is no longer up for debate. I am not going to keep worrying about these goofy-ass kids without making sure that accountability is laid upon the place that it needs to come from, which is the damn parents. Trying to be their kids' friends all the time. Never raising them to do nothing but be these kids. What's the future for these children? What do you think? For all of them, including the older sister who didn't care either. And had the nerve to go on live with the kids, basically cussing out anybody who had a problem with their goofy-ass behavior. Instead of correcting them and saying, hey, guys, you shouldn't have done that. Hey, guys, I had money. You could have just bought it if you really got money. Nope. Let's just double down on it. So these kids get the wrong impression and they think they're actually correct in their behavior. So you know what happens when you think you're correct in behavior? You repeat it. And they're going to end up in jail or worse. I guarantee it. If this is where they're starting, I don't know how else you're going to finish. I don't know how else you're going to finish. I blame y'all. And I say y'all, I'm talking about the parents out there. You know who I'm talking about. These are your kids. And they're not superhuman. If you got to whoop that ass, sometimes you got to whoop that ass. Sometimes. But I'll say this. If these kids are acting like this, and some of them look like they're in single digits. So if they're still acting like this in its later single digits, you lost that battle. You lost that battle. You might as well call the police and tell them to sit out in front of the house and get ready to take their asses down on a search warrant or an arrest warrant for some crime that they're going to commit in the future. Because they're already criminals. They're just underage. Everybody want to talk about black culture. No, it's parenting. And there's obviously people on all sides that have an issue with parenting their damn kids. That's why we get school shooters and shit. Where you're putting the weapon in the child's hand, you're condoning this behavior by letting them do it. And I'm not going to let nobody keep trying to push it to one side or the other. It's a parenting problem. It's not a race issue. It's a parenting problem. And that's where we get all these goofy ass people from. And they do something and we're like, why did they do that? It's because they had bad parenting. I guarantee it. Guarantee it. Y'all can hate me if you want to. You want everybody to talk about black this and white that and who's this. And no, it's as simple as this. There's a bunch of goofy asses in the world. And if we only focused on one culture, we would still miss out on the other sides of it. So if you're not going to be objective and call the bullshit where it is, I said this ain't the channel for you. This could have been any race of kids. There's a whole bunch of types of kids that are just goofy. But the problem is the parents. Not willing to talk to these parents. I don't want to hear shit about these kids if we're not going to start talking about these parents. Like I said, yeah, they're ignorant kids. I get it. They're ignorant. But whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? Then you got the older sister just as bad. So I'm sure the apple don't fall too far from the tree. I'm sure if the mother was on the live, she probably would condone the behavior. Or at least would be like, oh, that ain't nothing. They got it to replace. They got insurance or something stupid like that. We need to stop creating more of these people. This is part of the societal problem. It's a parenting issue. Simple as that. Simple as that. It's a freaking parenting issue. Got me upset. Got me upset. Them kids was innocent not very long ago. And now they're just working their way to the penitentiary, one by one. To the penitentiary, the street, or the trap house. Like I said, get mad at me. Well, that's why you say that. Because I know what I'm looking at. I'm no idiot. I know kids that start out like that, they barely have a chance. You might get lucky, somebody might become a freaking athlete, but then they won't know how to deal with the money correctly, and they'll probably do something stupid and get themselves locked up that way. It's a mentality. You're not teaching these kids nothing. They can just take what they want from the store, be at home by themselves, probably stay up all night, probably don't even go to school. Anyway. Oh, okay. Okay. We're going to get into this other one. Because this is what started the Ghosts and Goblins topic. Was I was watching this Tucker Carlson interview. And I'm not a big Tucker Carlson fan, but he does decent interviews and he has good objective conversation. And I like to listen to everybody who has objective conversation, where they're kind of talking almost from above up, looking down at it, because that's how I look at it. So it's easier for me to understand what a person's talking about. And I don't have to care if they are of the same religion, same skin color as myself. They're looking at things objectively, and objectivity doesn't have a race. So Tucker Carlson goes on to a somebody's podcast. I forgot the guy's name. It's the little bald-headed white guy that everybody seems to like on the Republican side. I forgot what his name is. I'm sure it'll come up in this. Somebody remind me of it when you see it, when you see him. I like the comment there, Carpe Diem. He's being smart about what he's talking about because it allows you to be objective. Like this, if you see somebody doing something heinous, you can say that person is doing something. Their location, religion, all of that stuff, it really shouldn't mean anything because the activity that they're completing is the heinous activity that you're identifying. So if you take things out of the anti-Semitism, and that's all ground and surface shit, right? If you just take it to concepts, I'm doing this to these people, or I did this to this person. What kind of person would I have to be to do that? And then you can come up with, well, you'd have to be diabolical to do that. So it wouldn't matter who you are. What matters is that you are doing what it is that's diabolical. And that is where I believe that the dark spirit has to come in, because the regular average person can't think like that. We can't think about starving people and like it's cool. Like if I was, just be honest, just say if I starved my next door neighbor, like if I had control over whether or not my next door neighbor had food, power, water, and I cut those things off from them because I don't like their brother-in-law that comes by sometimes. Like if that was the justification, people would be like, yo, that's heinous, right? So let's just keep all of that other shit out of it. Let's keep it basic. There's some negative energy that's floating around, and it has to come into a physical form in order to affect, and I mean effect and affect, the rest of the population, or infect the rest of the population. You choose the word, but the point is, it can't do anything until a person invites it in. That's why you hear about people in these high places doing weird rituals and shit like that, is because there are some spirits that get taken in to take away your feeling, to take away your humanity so you can do things. That's why they say, man, he's trying to deal with the devil. Because in order for you to get away with certain things or be okay with certain things, you have to take away some of your humanity in order to do these things. But then at the end, you get worldly blessings. So yes, it is literally a spirit. It takes away your humanity and becomes this evil actioner. Whether you're in government, police officers, people in the public, whatever. You become the actioner. The spirit does nothing until it comes into the flesh. And it can't come into your flesh unless you invite it in. You must invite in order for it to be able to inhabit. You've seen the movie Sinners. You've seen a lot of movies that have to do with vampires and things like that, and spirits cast away. It always comes down to somebody inviting it in. Normally can't just come in. They got to do something. They got to conjure it. They have to say, I want to see this. I want to be part of that. And then whatever comes as a result, it always goes bad. But the point is, initially, they thought they wanted it. So let's see what else Tucker Carlson has to say. But I'm very glad that he's not even specifying groups with what he's saying. He's just saying people and folks. And so you can put it wherever the hell you want to put it. It's an overarching concept. I like that he's doing that, because a lot of times he'll jump out there and use political parties as if the only people that exist in the world are part of one of two political parties, as if there's nobody else around that exists here. So that's why you don't break it down that far, because mentality extends across political parties. Evil does not have a political party. See what I'm saying? It's part of the fabric of just evil people. So wherever they fall into as far as group, it has no discrimination there. So good job, Tuck.
Anyway, but you can
So the main thing I want y'all to take from it, okay, I'm going to talk about it, is his assessment is that the government has lied to you about supernatural beings and their existence. And I'm going to unpack that. I'm going to unpack that. I think it's very important that I think it's really important. Bring it over. Full screen. Full screen. Let's talk about this. All right. I'm going to start this by saying the easiest way to get people to do debaucherous and evil things is to have them not believe that there's any afterlife to which they would be judged for it. So removing a supernatural realm also removes a moral compass. So it makes it easier for people to accept goofiness if they think this is all there is. There's nothing else that nobody has to answer for. You see people in these bad realms who seem to have great lives, and you know that they're doing crazy stuff, and it looks like, oh, well, it must be okay. We've seen enough people get off of crimes that we know were criminal, and it's just because they have these resources, and we're like, we can't understand it. So if you remove God from the situation, all right, let's just, whatever your religion is, I'm just saying, would utilize God in an omnipotent form of an entity that gives a damn about how you act. I'm going to keep it real simple. It's an entity that gives a damn about how you act while you're in the physical form. If God is not there, then that means nobody cares about how you act other than the people who are also here in physical form. And they have no real power at the end because they're physical. So if you remove the whole idea of an afterlife and of some omnipotent being that actually cares about your behavior or just forgives everything, like just doesn't care, just, hey, you're forgiven because Christ died. So whatever you do, no matter what it is, it's perfectly fine at the end. There's no judgment. And with no judgment, there's no shame. And we have to have shame. We have to, but we also have to understand that there are some plants that exist. People's whole histories are changed for the sake of political office, and they'll go digging into it, come and find out the person didn't come from where they said they came from. They went to certain schools under different pretense. They changed their race. They changed their last name so that they are more acceptable to certain groups. It's a whole thing. Whereas the average person is going to be like, I'm not changing my name and all of that to go be the damn mayor. You see what I'm saying? To us, it makes no sense. But if you have no connection to a lineage, then it doesn't mean anything to you. If your lineage is just evil, then you'll stay within that lineage. So it doesn't matter about your name or what race they think you are. Your goal is to do what you were sent here to do, or what you have now been given a mandate to do, which is do evil shit. That's your place here. Because once people start doing all that, they don't just stop. They don't stop till they get caught or get taken out. And it's the same thing for everybody in the government that Tucker Carlson is talking about. When they vote on certain things that you know will inordinately affect a certain group and nobody seems to care, and I don't mean the public, I mean like the government folks just don't, they be like talking about, oh, we're worried about our seniors and worried about this, and then they'll vote on some shit to cut Medicaid. Like right behind that. It's like, okay, so how can you say one thing and then do something different? It's because you don't have a moral compass to say you have to be honest. I'm a politician. I don't have to be honest. Politicians aren't honest. None of them are honest. So I'm a politician now. Now I don't have to be honest. That's why people come into those offices with like good intentions, but they always seem to get tainted once they get in there. And it's because there's spirits floating around in them leather chairs in Congress and in those seats in those offices, in the mayoral offices and county commissioners and all types of people. Police chiefs. And they start seeing, man, I can get away with this. And there's nobody that'll tell me I'm wrong until somebody finally tells them they're wrong. And then even then, most of the times, they don't even think they're wrong. When they ask for a plea, it's not guilty, even though they're very guilty. So is that just poor parenting once you're an adult? No, that is a whole spirit that you've invited in by things that you did earlier in life and got away with. And you invite the spirit of theft, lust, greed, corruption right into your life, and then you become comfortable with it, so you become an asshole. And basically anybody who doesn't agree with you, there must be something wrong with them. This is where we at. They floating around, man, with no real connection to family, no real connection to a higher power. They have a mandate to do something, to make you think that nothing else exists other than whatever piece of crap story they put together for you. That's it. One story after another, you go on the news, half of the shit ain't even 100% right. Somebody's paying for it, and the person that's spitting it out is spitting it out knowing it's not right. It takes a certain lack of a moral compass to get on a forum that millions of people can see and hear and say something that you know is not true. Or embellish something that you know is not truly what you're presenting. You want people to be distracted, you want them to be misinformed, and you want them to be angry about what you want them to be angry about, even though a lot of the anger is misdirected at a group that really can't do anything about it. We're just angry with each other when really the problem ain't us. The problem is we're not unified on the problem. The problem is bad spirits, bad parenting, stinking thinking, as I call it. And that starts early. That starts in the home. But it also starts with us holding each other accountable. When you see somebody doing something goofy on the internet, or saying something goofy on the internet, and you don't call it out, and they get a whole bunch of shares and likes, they feed right into the bullshit after that. Now, all of a sudden, all they saying is, I hate men, or I hate women. Because you got one post where they was mad at a woman, or mad at a man, and it blows up, and now they got to just stick in that, and they be perfectly fine with it. I know that's not y'all. I know that's not y'all on Purge the Bullshit, because we're here.
I hate to use the word reporting, but just like
now, I didn't even click that. Tucker Carlson, I'm done with you right now. You don't have to talk no more. But this is serious, guys. When you're out in the world, you don't know who you're walking right past. You don't know if you're walking past the next school shooter or the next president. But I can tell you that there are more negative spirits floating around now than positive ones. I used to think the world was a positive place overall. But now looking at it, and it's not just America, you look at the news in other countries. I check out the national news of other countries, and it ain't much better over there. They got the same problems. They got immigration, they got drug issues, they got people messing with kids, all the same demons floating around the entire planet in different areas that have different religions, but those stories are the same. You want to hear a story about pedos? You can pick any major country, any developed country, and you will hear a story about their leadership messing with the children, or someone in the leadership being accused of messing with children. So that spirit, the pedo spirit, is floating around, and it has to go in certain places in order to affect itself. And for whatever reason, it likes to inject itself into places of power or places of ignorance. Like the guy that nobody knows about, that's in the corner that nobody paid attention to, that's also the other one, because he thinks he can get away with it because nobody's watching. But that same spirit inhabits both of them. So it's not about color, guys. It's literally about inviting in negative spirits into your life, thinking that they make you feel better. Same thing with serious narcotics and drug addictions. The negative spirit. You know, you're out there stealing and robbing people just to get high. And you don't have a problem with it because you've invested your moral compass in the drug itself. So whatever it takes to get it is well within the realm of what's necessary to maintain the addiction. So the spirit of addiction, that's another spirit. They call it a disease of addiction, but I call it a spirit because it can change everything you look at in order to focus on itself. And you'll be perfectly okay and all right and fine with doing whatever it is that you have to do to maintain that negative energy. Diabolical. Diabolical. So I'm just telling y'all right now, do not invite in the negative spirits because they love taking over people. And then they'll have you out here doing some stuff, driving up on the sidewalk and running people over because you had a bad day at work. Because it takes the human piece out of it. You become a dark spirit. A dark spirit doesn't care. Dark spirit doesn't even discriminate. It just takes and destroys whatever the hell it can lay its fingers on. And if you give it a place, it will use you until it uses you up, and then you will get dumped off into a jail cell somewhere to rot for the rest of your life, and then have to be judged at the end. That's your choice. But don't say I didn't tell you. Okay? So nonetheless, shouts to Carpe Diem in the chat today with all of with good conversation, good chat. I like that. And of course, shouts to Purple Groovy. And let's see who else we had in here today. We had, of course, my man Al Bond, my Sergeant at Arms. Fear No Mortal Gems in here. What else do we have? I Am Z, that's my baby. Celebrated an anniversary yesterday. Happy anniversary to I Am Z. Chief stopped in as well. I know Chief was in here earlier, so shouts to Chief. And anybody else who's in the chat that's a subscriber, if you didn't say hello, this gong's for you. I know we do a subs-only chat in here because we don't have time to be dealing with trolls for 5-10 minutes when they start going crazy. So we like to have real conversation, so that's why it's subscribers only over. You got to give us at least 5 minutes of watching the content before you jump the hell into a conversation. That's just in real life. When you walk up on a conversation, you got to give it a second before you jump right in because you might have something out of context. So that's why we do our chat on the lives here like that. We need people to be smart about what it is that they're trying to talk about, not just over here because it's open. Like a lot of my friends who are on YouTube, they have an open chat and you get a lot of goofiness in there. And then they got to deal with the goofiness for 5 or 10 minutes. Now I've heard it's good for the interaction, but I don't have time for the bullshit. So it doesn't work for me. But for other channels, that's fine. Y'all do that. Have fun with that. But over here, we're here to actually have real conversation and then move on with our lives and try to be better versions of ourselves after we're finished purging the BS. So we don't have time for the trollage because then we got to purge that because it's there. The rule is if you see it, you must purge it. So I don't want to waste time with that when I got some other concepts. Thank you guys for always keeping the chat nice and sophisticated, so to speak. Good conversation. It's always a special shout to y'all. And a special shout to Jay Coleman, too, as well. Came in. And Z, I know you're still there. I know, the show gets to a point where people just start watching it. They forget to comment. They forget to hit the like. They just start watching the show. And that's a good thing. That means I'm doing something that people are being receptive to. I'm going to keep doing it. So the next show, we're going to be back on Thursday morning with our Thursday morning. A couple more days of vacation from get that out the way. But as for today, y'all keep your eyes open. Watch out for those ghosts, those goblins, those demons, those spirits, because they can inhabit you at any point in time. You can be driving on the road, minding your business, and that just right car cuts you off, and that spirit jumps from that car into yours, and now you chasing them down road rage. And 5 minutes before, you was jamming, listening to TLC, No Scrubs. So just understand, you are part of the group that they want. They want the objective thinkers to stop thinking objectively. Because if you stop thinking objectively, guys, then that, my friends, is the bullshit. And we out.